Nathan next. Are you happy today, Nathan? You're on mute, bro.
Yeah, no, of course I'm happy, man. That's 3 points. You know what I mean? Big result against a tough team. I think we did well today. We controlled the game. It's been a big part of what we've been seeing this season is this whole aspect of control, which I think has proved to be a good thing against the bigger sides. I think the pivot of Jorginho Rice did well to control to dictate that game against Liverpool, and yeah, I'm more confident in the big games as opposed to the little games, if I'm to be honest with you. So I wasn't as nervous going into this game as others. But no, it was a brilliant result. I thought Jorginho, who is a player I have been quite critical of at times, to be honest with you, because I think earlier on in the season we were using him as a lone six, and because of his physical deficiencies, he can't really cover ground, so he can get caught out, and we saw that in the Tottenham game. I think we saw that again in the Chelsea game at Stamford Bridge. But today, having Rice beside him to kind of be able to cover his deficiencies and his lack of mobility was allowed him to shine, and his ability to play forward. And I've been talking about verticality and passing the ball forward, and we saw a lot of that. We saw him being able to find players between the lines, and all in all, man, I'm ecstatic because Liverpool have looked ominous this season. They haven't lost the game bar that Tottenham game, which was controversial to say the least. So to go and get 3 points and put 3 past them, you can only be happy, and it puts us in a good way. It puts a dent in their title hopes, but it puts us in a good way as well. So I'm ecstatic.
No, I hear you completely. I do. I want to pronounce your name right, my friend. How do I say your name correctly, my friend?
I knew you might get it wrong. Sia.
Sia. Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, I want to get it right. Secondly, I'm dyslexic, so I can get the word Adam wrong or David because I'm a moron like that. But apologies. Who do you support, my friend? Just so I know.
Liverpool.
You're a Liverpool fan. What did you make of it today? Did you see this as like you kind of let Arsenal do this, or did you just think on the day Arsenal were just unstoppable, really?
I'm not here to put my hands up and be humble. Fuck Arsenal. No, I'm just joking. Look, I said on the group earlier that this game is going to depend on, firstly, which Arsenal turns up and whether Szoboszlai is going to be fit or not. Because I've been saying for a while that Ryan Gravenberch has not developed into a Premier League player yet. He's not intense enough off the ball, on it, doesn't make good decisions, stays on the ball way too long. You can just see that is an Eredivisie player. And a lot of what happened today is because Arsenal did put us under a lot of pressure. Declan Rice was fucking colossus. And so much so that the fact that we're having rice for dinner today feels like an insult. And yeah, I just think Jorginho playing as well as he did is because of Rice. Because I feel like if we were to get a foothold in the game, Jorginho wouldn't have been as good as he was. So there's an element of Arteta setting his team up very well. And there's also an element that we just didn't turn up. And the team we put out just wasn't good enough. And another thing, Trent should not play right back again this season. He does not offer the same pace and defensive awareness that Bradley does. And that was evident with how many times Martinelli basically turned him inside out.
Yeah, listen, Bradley, obviously, I think his father passed away, didn't he? Very, very tragically. That's why he was missing. And I think you're right. He had no business playing today after something as horrific as that happening at his age as well. But I did think you missed him today. I said the other day that Trent's brilliant at certain things. He's world class. But I think defensively, Conor Bradley's better than he is.
Should.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm going to go Sard here. We've got Sard and Dennis, and everyone can jump in on this. And obviously, we've got Beckley and Matt backstage. I thought they left. They came back. We'll rotate some people around soon. Mikel Arteta, Sard. He has been challenged and questioned as not having the ability to handle pressure. Can't get the tactics or decision-making right in the big moments. Has he proved today that is either a myth or he's improved to a point where that should stop being thrown at him as a criticism? Has he shown himself today to be one of the best managers and tacticians in the Premier League?
One of the best. I wouldn't go that far. I mean, we're still in a league with Pep. Do you know what I mean? Which as a tactician, he's probably one of the best. But listen, I think Mikel Arteta had an amazing game today. If I'm being honest, just based on the team that he put out, how they had them playing, I think what was happening on the pitch was Erdegaard and Havertz were like they weren't even trying to put pressure. Like Havertz wasn't even trying to put pressure that much on uh uh what's his name, Virgil van Dijk and Konate. He was letting them have their own space, and then they were just like coming more and more forward, leaving space in behind for one of the attackers, either Saka or either Martinelli, to go in behind. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like that was very clever in the way that they were doing that. But I think the tactics were good today. I think we dominated the play. I feel like we were amazing today. I feel like Martinelli, I have to give him huge props, man. Huge props to Martinelli, because today, that is the Martinelli of old. That's the Martinelli that you want. The one that isn't scared, bro. That keeps on going, relentless. He didn't care. Even against that mistake with Van Dijk and Alisson, I feel like he caused that, because he was the one who pushed Van Dijk, or barged him, and then made sure to give him a little push just so he'd go far away. And then also the ball bounced a bit. Obviously, we got a bit of favour with the ball bouncing there. But I feel like Martinelli was amazing today. Havertz played an amazing game. Obviously, he has to get his props, because I know myself including a lot of other people have given him a lot of stick due to him. Listen, let's just put this out right now. I never want to see Havertz in midfield. That is his position now. You play him in the attack. You play him as a centre forward, maybe behind a striker when we actually get a clinical striker at times. That can be another game plan, but don't play him into the midfield. In that left 8 position, he's not built for that. He's built for this type of position where he's running around, making space, creating space. Do you know what I mean? At times he went into that left 8 position and ended up getting the ball and passing it back and killing attacks at the game. But other than that, in the attack, I think he was brilliant. Same with Jorginho. Sorry, I know I'm going into a whole analysis of the game, but even Jorginho, I think Jorginho is amazing in these big games. He is the one that can thread the passes through. He's one of the line breakers that we have. Just, I feel like sometimes when you come up against a team, where I do kind of agree with the Liverpool guys, where if the midfield is very intense and they're pressing him and they don't give him enough space to work with, he can sometimes falter. But in these big games where there's plenty of space in the midfield and he had time to do what he wanted to do, this is where Jorginho is so good, bro. So good, because you could see the passes, and even in the Crystal Palace game, bro, when he came on and you saw the passes that he put through, and he's taking the risks. That's what I want, is midfielders who can come out, take more risks. Do you know what I mean? But overall, for me, I think it was an amazing game from us, and this shows that we're not out, man. We're not out yet. I'm not saying that we're definitely winning the league, but we're definitely not out of this title race. I think this title race is going to go down to the wire, man. Unless City obviously run away with it, which I don't see happening. It's just way too close at the moment. But this is what football's about, man. I'm so gassed right now. I'm so happy. Just big up to the boys, man, because they made me. One thing I said is, please don't embarrass me. Please don't embarrass me when we go out here and play against Liverpool. And I'll tell you right now, the manager and the boys did not embarrass me today. They did not embarrass me. They made me proud to put on an Arsenal shirt and say that I'm an Arsenal fan today. They absolutely made me proud, man.
Good, Dennis. How much of that do you echo? Well, welcome back to Football Terrace as well, by the way, young man. Brilliant performance. Maybe one of the best sort of games individually that Arteta has coached and managed as an example, and such an important time of your season as well. You could have ended today 8 points off the top, but you're now right up there, neck and neck with the big boys.
Yeah, I do want to say though, prayers to Conor Bradley and his family for what happened to his father, Joe Bradley. That's the reason I'm assuming he missed the game. So yeah, just want to say that first. But yeah, agree with you. When I made my debut on the Football Terrace, I said that if we lose this game, I think the title race is more or less done. Not necessarily just for the points, for the momentum Liverpool would have off the back of it, and for the sucker punch it would give us. But we came into this game, and I said we were going to win, to be fair, and we played very well. Very, very well. And this has been Arteta's basically his threshold and the backbone of us this season. I think overall performances this season haven't been as good as last year, but in big games, we always turn up defensively. I know we made the bozo error with Saliba and the goalkeeper. But in this game at Anfield, when we played Man City at home, defensively we've been sound. We've given up little to nothing chances. In this game, right, Liverpool in the first half had nothing apart from the goal at the end. And then they had about 5 minutes at the start of the second half where Curtis Jones dropped deep. And obviously Zinchenko was off the pitch and we were getting the ramifications of not having an extra body in midfield. But other than that, we dominated. I don't think it was as free-flowing as the FA Cup in terms of the chance we were creating, but we were getting dangerous areas. And I have to echo the Jorginho. I don't want to talk about him again because I'm assuming everyone's already spoken about him. What performance and forward passing from Jorginho. Too many times in midfield, right, when we had Rice, Odegaard, and either Havertz or Smith Rowe, a lot of the passing was sideways or out wide. Jorginho, when he gets the ball, darting it in midfield, penetrating passes. My coach used to tell me, right, when you pass the ball, you give a message with the pass. If you zip it into someone, you're injecting pace. Even there was a chance in the first half where he zipped it into Martinelli. Probably should have done better in the box. But that sort of passing, I mean, quick passing, get the ball moving. And Havertz as well. Now, Havertz, I don't think he was spectacular today. I'm seeing people online say, oh my God, brilliant performance. His hold-up play was superb. And he was a handful for sure. But in key areas, I still think he lacks it, man. Like, he's not a killer. And that's a real problem for us. Because, look, he was brilliant holding up the play. But he didn't hold up the ball any more than an Ivan Toney would. And I know an Ivan Toney would bring us the ability to score in key areas or bring others into play. Because there's one chance where he goes through, right? And McAllister's chasing him. And he takes a touch across him, which is brilliant. But then his second touch comes from his left foot. When all he needs to do is put his body between McAllister and the ball and force McAllister to either bring him down for a penalty or he has a shot on goal. But in the end, he was just weak with it. But overall, look, I don't want to bring any shade in our performance. Terrific one overall. Was actually a bit worried going into it as well because of how good Liverpool been going into this game, especially with Jota and stuff. How many chances they've had more than anything. But we really limited them today. And that's the main thing for me, man. We kept the Liverpool attackers quiet and we've given ourselves some momentum. And at the same time, right, it was a 6 points because now Liverpool have lost their first game since the Tottenham game in the Premier League. How do they respond? Because it's all going well when you've got all the momentum around you. But all it takes is one bad result. Like, for example, we drew at Anfield, not necessarily a bad result, but we lose to West Ham, lose to Fulham. We then drop 6 points off the back of a draw. Maybe after this game, Liverpool could then go on a bit of a bad run. I don't know. It could happen. The point is we've created doubt. And that's the main thing. With the chaos comes opportunity. And I just hope we take advantage. And of course, the title race is back on, which is the main thing.
It certainly is. And you pull something up there about the defence. And we'll sort of throw this out to the panel, really, because Arsenal have been criticised this year for being, I'm just going to layman term, not as entertaining, a little more boring. And I viewed it as they're stopping teams from progressing the ball against them far more regularly. It doesn't mean they've been perfect because they've lost games. But I feel that extra strength and stability defensively, that's why I believe you've got more of a chance of winning the league this year. You may not look as good on the eye, but you went up against one of the most potent and deadly teams in the world right now today. They had nothing. I know the
Rice,
I know most
Saliba. That triangle is unbelievable for us. It genuinely is like our saving grace this season because our attack hasn't been great, but our defense has been unbelievable. I've been so happy with our defense plus the Declan Rice. Unbelievable. So happy with them.
I bet you. I bet you are, mate. You know, I can imagine. In terms of Jorginho and Declan Rice, is that something you now want to see used more regularly now after today?
I mean, Kai Havertz at striker wasn't bad. He was quite good, to be fair. He did the job basically. Yes, he missed that chance, but Saka was there to score that, so that shouldn't even be a conversation anymore. Jorginho, I thought was brilliant. I thought was brilliant. I think he was my man of the match. It was either him or Kai Havertz. Those two played unbelievable. So happy with them. And we paid £10 million for Jorginho. 10 million. And all these Chelsea fans were saying, oh, you know, he's terrible. You can have our Deadwood. Bro, I'll take Jorginho for £10 million. Thank you very much.
I think they'd pay £100 million to have someone like Jorginho back at Chelsea with the way they're performing right now.